Part 1. Manhattan, 2025. Winter presses against the glass walls of the Metropolitan Club like a silent spectator. Golden chandeliers glow above 600 of New York's most elite CEOs, senators, real estate moguls, tech founders, heiresses, dynastic heirs. Every face is perfectly curated, every whisper perfectly sharpened. Tonight marks the one-year memorial of Victoria Harrington, the legendary matriarch known as the Iron Queen of New York real estate, and Manhattan has gathered to honor her, or more accurately, to watch the Harrington dynasty devour itself. At the center of the marble ballroom stands Olivia, Liv Harrington, 29, daughter of the woman they came to mourn. Her dress, an archival couture piece designed specifically for her mother's final gala, fits her like a vow. Midnight black silk. Strict lines. An aura of cold, immaculate grief. Yet no one looks at her. Not really. Their gazes slide past her like she is a smudge on the glossy surface of the legacy they worship. Across the room stands Nathaniel Harrington, 54, her father. Handsome in the polished, hollow way of men who have lived too long on their own lies. A glass of champagne in hand. A tailored midnight suit. And beside him, clinging to his arm like a trophy reborn in gold, is Isabella Bella Voss, 24. Blonde, breathtaking, and carrying the smug glow of someone who has never been told no. Bella is the daughter Nate had with a former supermodel, conceived during one of his many affairs while still married to Victoria. Everyone knows the story. No one says it out loud. Liv watches her father brush a strand of hair behind Bella's ear. A gesture he never once offered Liv. A string quartet shifts into a samba arrangement. The murmurs settle. Nate ascends the stage, pulling Bella with him, like a magician preparing his final trick. Liv moves closer. Her heels echo against the marble, but still, no one parts for her. She stands at the edge of the crowd, invisible under the glittering chandeliers that once adored her mother. Nate taps the microphone. Thank you all for being here to honor the extraordinary life of Victoria Harrington, he begins, voice smooth as practiced charm. A woman who built an empire with sheer will. There is a polite wave of applause. Liv's nails dig into her palm. The words sound borrowed. Hollow. Not his. Nate continues. This past year has been difficult. Losing Victoria meant losing the foundation of our family. Our family. The words taste like poison in Liv's ears. He squeezes Bella's hand. Audibly. But through this tragedy, he says with a gentle smile, I have been blessed with someone who kept me grounded, who held me together when the world felt unbearable. He turns to Bella. My only daughter Isabella has been my anchor through this tragedy. She will carry the Harrington legacy forward. The ballroom exhales as if finally watching the expected play unfold. Liv does not. Her breath stops. The chandelier light fractures above her, gleaming harshly against her mother's final couture gown. She is frozen, struck not by surprise, but by the brutality of something she has felt her entire life. The erasure. The deliberate rewriting of history. The deletion of a daughter. The coronation of a fraud. Someone in the crowd inhales sharply. Another whispers. A ripple of discomfort spreads through the audience, not out of empathy, but because they have realized, just now, that Olivia Harrington is in the room. And she heard everything. Her champagne glass slips from her hand. Slow motion. Crystal shatters against marble, the sharp crack echoing through the hall like a gunshot. Guests jump, heads turn. But Nate does not flinch. He simply lifts his glass, smiling wider, as though the sound were nothing more than background music to his newest performance. Liv bends slowly, gathering the shards with steady fingers. Her heartbeat is a silent, controlled thunder. Bella, on stage, gives a soft pitying laugh. Nate presses a kiss to the top of Bella's head. Liv straightens. The last shard cuts her thumb. A thin line of red blooms. She doesn't wipe it. She just stares. Nate raises his champagne flute higher. To Isabella, he declares. The future of the Harrington Empire. Cameras flash. Applause rises like a wave, cold and mindless. In that moment, standing in the dress her mother designed, ignored by 600 people who once kissed the ring Victoria wore, Oliv's world crystallizes into one sharp truth. They think she's gone. They think she's nothing. They think Bella is the heir. Liv lifts her chin, the faintest shadow of a smile forming. They have no idea what's coming. Later that night, outside the Metropolitan Club. Rain sweeps down Fifth Avenue. Limousines line the curb, engines humming softly. Guests glide past Liv without a single acknowledgement. Her phone buzzes. A message. One name. Grayson Pierce. Her mother's most loyal friend. A man her father despises. The text is brief. Tomorrow. 9 a.m. My office. Do not tell your father. Liv closes her umbrella. Rain hits her bare shoulders, cold and cleansing. She whispers into the night. Mother, what did you leave behind? The camera pulls back. Liv stands alone on the steps of the Metropolitan Club, drenched, cut, overlooked, yet glowing with the quiet fury of a queen resurrecting herself. Morning, 1 Pen 1, floor 107. Glass walls. Sharp lines. A sweeping view of Manhattan swallowing the clouds. Liv enters Grayson Pierce's office, the air heavy with gravitas. Grayson, now 70 but still carrying the sharpness of a man tempered by wars in boardrooms, rises from behind his marble desk. Olivia, he says softly. You look exactly like her today. Liv remains standing. You said it was urgent. Grayson reaches for a black folder. Thick. Sealed with a metal clasp. Your mother updated her will 6 months before she died, he begins. Liv freezes. She never told me. She couldn't. The cancer accelerated? She wanted to protect you. Grayson unlocks the clasp. Then he slides the document toward her. Liv opens it. And the world tilts. Victoria Harrington left Olivia 100% controlling interest in Harrington Capital Partners. A $2.4 billion empire. Nate receives 1% non-voting shares. A $120,000 annual pension. Nothing more. Liv's breath catches. And there's more, Grayson says, pulling out another file. 12 years worth of forensic reports, bank statements, private investigator logs. Evidence Nate embezzled $187 million from the company. Another document. Cayman bank accounts. Hidden assets. Sloane's name attached. Our investigators started the moment Victoria suspected him, Grayson explains. Your father is not only out of the will, he's on the edge of criminal prosecution. Liv leans back, pulse steadying into something cold. Focused. Why show me this now, she asks. Because, Grayson says, after what he did last night, Victoria would not want you to wait another day. Liv closes the folder. Her mother hadn't abandoned her. Her mother had armed her. Victoria Harrington, even in death, had orchestrated a perfect strike. Now the blade was in Liv's hands. She rises. Freeze the Cayman accounts. It's already done. Lock down access to the Harrington Tower executive floors. Done. And Nate? Grayson meets her eyes. He has no idea he's already lost. Liv nods once, a queen coming into her crown. No, she murmurs. He has no idea who he raised. She turns toward the window, Manhattan spread out below her like a battlefield waiting for command. The rain has cleared. Sunlight strikes the skyscrapers in bright, ruthless angles. Liv presses her palm to the glass. Bella wants the legacy, she whispers. Let's show her what it costs. The city glints sharply back at her, as if in acknowledgement. The erasure ends now. The reckoning begins. Part 2. 1 Pen 1, Floor 107, Grayson Pierce's office. Liv stands before the panoramic window, the city stretching like a glittering labyrinth beneath her. The folder containing her inheritance sits open on Grayson Pierce's marble desk, a monumental, irreversible. The New York morning is bright, mercilessly so. Perfect lighting for revelations. Grayson adjusts his glasses. Your mother prepared every line of this will with surgical precision. She foresaw everything Nate would do after her death. Liv doesn't look away from the skyline. Including my erasure. Grayson nods grimly. Especially that. He reaches for another envelope, thinner, more dangerous. The seal bears Victoria Harrington's signature crest, a silver crown split in two. This, Grayson says, is your mother's final directive. Filed privately. Not even the board knows it exists. Liv breaks the seal. A single sheet of cream stationery. Victoria's handwriting, elegant, unapologetic. Olivia. If you are reading this, the man you call your father has already betrayed you. Do not forgive him. Do not negotiate with him. Do not let him replace you. Finish what I started. Mother. Liv feels the words settle under her ribs like armor. She exhales, steady. So what happens now? She asks. Grayson smiles faintly, like a general who's waited too long to finally unleash a war plan. Now, we show Nate what real power looks like. He steps behind his desk. I've already filed the documents transferring controlling interest to you. Harrington Capital is legally yours. Liv turns. How long before he finds out? Grayson's eyes gleam. Oh, about 5 minutes. Nate Harrington's penthouse, Midtown Manhattan. Nate is in silk pajamas, sipping a green smoothie while scrolling through page 6 headlines featuring Bella from last night's gala. Beside him, Sloane Ryder, his 31-year-old fiancé in secret, lounges in a cashmere robe, recording a morning routine TikTok. Suddenly, all the lights flicker. The penthouse smart system shuts down. The private elevator locks. The security panel flashes red. Nate frowns, annoyed. What the? His phone buzzes violently. 15 notifications. Emails from Harrington Capital's board. A system alert from the company's legal counsel. And finally, change of control notice, Olivia Harrington. Effective immediately. Nate's smoothie falls from his hand and splatters across the marble. Sloane pauses mid-recording. Babe? What just happened? Nate's face drains. He slams the phone onto the island. She just took the company. His voice cracks. No, she took everything. The Hamptons, the Harrington estate. $38 million of glass, cedar, and Atlantic Ocean views. The crown jewel of the Harrington fortune. And as of this morning, it belongs entirely to Liv. She arrives in a black Range Rover, windswept hair, sunglasses, and a silence that feels electrified. Cole Whitaker, her shark smile attorney, steps out behind her carrying legal folders like weapons. Liv opens the front door with her new master key. What greets her is chaos wrapped in wealth. The foyer is decorated with fresh white roses, a champagne tower, and a 14-piece orchestra rehearsing by the infinity pool. A giant silver banner hangs over the balcony. Congratulations, Sloane and Nate, forever beginning. Liv's lips curl. They are throwing themselves an engagement party in my house. Cole murmurs, technically, your former house. Until an hour ago. Now it's all mine again. Liv steps forward. Let's ruin their day. Inside the ballroom. 200 elite guests mingle, unaware of the storm about to break. Bella stands in a shimmering gold gown, surrounded by photographers, narrating some embellished story about being chosen to carry the Harrington legacy. Sloane, wearing a 12-carat diamond ring, basks in the attention like a cat sunning itself. Nate is on stage practicing his engagement announcement, microphone in hand. Liv walks in mid-sentence. The guests fall into stunned silence. Conversations choke. Cameras pivot. Nate freezes. Sloane's smile curdles. Bella rolls her eyes, smirking. Oh, look. The forgotten one. Liv lifts the remote in her hand. The orchestra stops abruptly. Speakers switch from classical music to a crackling audio file. Her mother's voice fills the estate, cold, regal, unmistakably Victoria. If my husband ever tries to replace my daughter, burn everything to the ground. Gasps ripple through the room. Nate pales. Where did you get that? Liv steps onto the stage, heels clicking like artillery. Mother prepared for this moment, she says softly. And so did I. She scans the crowd, voice steady, amplified. Ladies and gentlemen, this house, this company, this empire, all belong to me. Nate stumbles forward, hands trembling. Liv, sweetheart, we can fix this. We can share control. 50-50. Please. Liv tilts her head. You must be mistaking me for someone who negotiates with thieves. A hush falls. Sloane crosses her arms. You can't do this. Nate built everything. Liv laughs, a sound as sharp as broken glass. My mother built everything. He stole from her for 12 years. She lifts a folder and throws it onto a nearby table. Bank statements. Offshore accounts. Money funneled into Sloane's name. Embezzlement totaling $187 million. Sloane's face collapses. Bella sputters, you're lying, Daddy would never. Liv cuts her off. Sit down, Isabella. Adults are talking. The room erupts in whispers. Nate drops to his knees, voice breaking. Liv, oh please, don't take my life from me. Liv crouches, eye level with him. You erased me last night, she whispers. Now I erase you. She stands, turning to the guests. Party's over. Get out. No one argues. Within minutes, the Harrington estate empties like a sinking ship. Liv watches silently as Nate collapses in Sloane's arms, sobbing into her dress. For the first time in her life, she feels something unfamiliar. Power that fits her perfectly. Back in the Range Rover. Cole Whitaker buckles in, adrenaline brightening his grin. Well, he says, I've seen hostile takeovers, but that was art. Liv doesn't smile. Her gaze is fixed on the ocean. Mother taught me to fight, she murmurs. But she also taught me something else. Cole raises an eyebrow. What's that? Liv turns toward him, eyes cold and luminous. This family deserves extinction. Her phone buzzes. A Switzerland country code. She answers. A calm voice speaks. Ms. Harrington, I'm calling regarding the estate of Great-Aunt Evelyn Whitmore. We need you in Zurich immediately. She left you everything. Liv closes her eyes, processing. Evelyn Whitmore, the mysterious tech billionaire of the 1980s, sister to Liv's grandmother, banned by Nate from seeing Liv since childhood. And now she has left Liv her entire estate. Of course she did. Victoria and Evelyn, two women who saw everything, prepared for everything, and trusted only one person to finish the war they began. Liv opens her eyes. Book the plane, she says. Tonight. Cole asks softly, should I tell your father you're leaving the country? Liv shakes her head. My father doesn't get updates from me anymore. She looks back at the empty mansion as the car pulls away, the last guests scattering like rats. He gets consequences. The Range Rover accelerates. The estate shrinks behind her, the ocean roaring like applause. Part 3. Zurich, Switzerland, 1 week later. The Alps cut into the winter sky like white fire. Zurich's banking district hums with quiet, cold precision, and nothing like Manhattan's chaotic pulse. Here, money doesn't speak. It whispers. A black Maybach glides to a stop in front of a private banking institution older than the Swiss Confederation itself. Liv Harrington steps out, dressed in a long camel coat, black gloves, and a presence sharper than the morning frost. Cole Whitaker walks beside her, rolling a small suitcase carrying encrypted legal files. Inside, the bank's interior is cathedral-like, vaulted ceilings, marble echoing with centuries of secrets. A senior banker leads them toward a private suite reserved for their most irregularly wealthy clients. "Ms. Harrington," he says softly, "your great-aunt Evelyn prepared these materials personally." No one except her saw the final records. Liv inhales. Evelyn Whitmore, her mother's eccentric, reclusive aunt, had vanished from public view decades ago. Rumors called her the ghost billionaire. A pioneer in early computing. A shadow investor in multiple tech revolutions. And Nate had forbidden Liv from seeing her, claiming Evelyn was unfit. Liv now sees the truth. He feared Evelyn would empower her. The banker unlocks a mahogany chest with 3 separate keys, biometric scan, and a passphrase. Inside, stacks of ivory folders. A jewel-toned USB key. A handwritten letter sealed with wax. And a set of deed certificates bound in leather. Liv's pulse slows. She knows, instinctively, this is the second bomb Victoria and Evelyn planted for her. "Start with the letter," Cole suggests gently. Liv breaks the wax seal. Evelyn's handwriting is as fierce as her mother's, but sharper, like code turned into ink. "My dear Olivia. Your father kept me from you because he knew I could turn you into your mother. A mistake. A very grave mistake. Victoria and I built 2 empires, hers in real estate, mine in technology. Now they both belong to you. Do not waste them. Do not forgive him. Finish the job. Evelyn Whitmore." Liv exhales shakily. Cole looks at her, pride and fear mixing on his face. "Keep reading," he says. The banker clears his throat. The assets include the following. The second bomb. He places several documents in front of her. $1.1 billion USD in liquid accounts and blue-chip stocks. A $150 million mansion on the Upper East Side, next door to Nate's former residence. Voting blocks in 2 major tech companies. And a sealed envelope marked, "To be opened upon the fall of Nathaniel Harrington." Liv stares at the mountain of wealth and legacy laid out before her. This is not an inheritance. This is an arsenal. Your aunt, the banker says carefully, wanted you to understand that your family's future depends on your willingness to act. Liv closes the envelope with a soft click. "I will act," she says. "I'm done being erased." As she leaves the bank, snow begins to fall, quiet, crystalline, victorious. The second bomb has detonated. The world just hasn't felt the tremors yet. Flight back to New York, private jet. Liv sits in a leather seat, watching the Atlantic drift beneath them like a dark mirror. Cole reviews documents across from her. "You understand what this means," he says finally. Liv nods. "I'm richer than the man who spent his life convincing me I was worthless." "Not just richer," Cole corrects. "More powerful. These assets give you absolute control over Harrington Capital. Nate's position is vapor. With this evidence of embezzlement, we can legally and financially bury him before he even knows which direction to crawl." Liv sips her espresso. "Good." Cole tilts his head. "No hesitation?" "None," Liv replies. Hesitation is what got me erased. She looks out the window, her reflection ghost-like in the glass. Mother and Evelyn didn't prepare me to survive him, Liv murmurs. They prepared me to end him. The jet races toward Manhattan, toward reckoning. Harrington Tower, 92nd floor boardroom. The building that once symbolized Nate's dominance now towers over Manhattan like a monument waiting for its new queen. Inside the boardroom, 14 executives murmur anxiously. Nate sits at the head of the table, sweating through his custom Brioni suit. Sloane grips his arm, mascara slightly smudged from a sleepless week. Bella fans herself dramatically. No one knows why an emergency shareholder meeting was called. Then, the doors open. Liv walks in. Silence fractures the room. She wears a white power suit, crisp, minimal, lethal in its simplicity. Her hair pulled into a tight knot, exposing the sharpness in her gaze. Cole Whitaker follows, carrying a leather briefcase full of proof that could incinerate a dynasty. John Marsh, CFO, stammers, "Ms. Harrington, this meeting is for voting shareholders only." Liv places a folder on the table. "I am the voting shareholder." Snickers. Confusion. Nate forces a laugh. "Liv, sweetheart, this isn't the time to pretend." She slides the controlling interest certificates across the table. The room goes silent. Nate grabs the papers, eyes widening. This can't be real. This can't." "It's real," Liv says calmly. "Mother updated her will. I own 100% of Harrington Capital's voting shares. Effective immediately, Nathaniel, you are removed as CEO." Gasps. Sloane pales. Bella's mouth hangs open like a dropped handbag. Nate shakes his head, voice trembling. "No. No, you can't do this. I built this company." Liv cuts him off with a raised hand. "Mother built it. You stole from it." Cole stands. "If the board will direct their attention to the screens." The lights dim. Screens around the boardroom flash to life. The evidence real. Wire transfers from company accounts to Bella, for a London penthouse. Payments funding Sloane's luxury shopping, vacations, wellness retreats. Offshore accounts under alias names tied to Nate. Altered financial reports. 12 years of embezzlement. $48 million moved the week Victoria was dying. Executives stare in horror. Sloane whispers, "Oh my God." Bella whimpers, "Daddy." Nate collapses into his chair, face gray. Liv steps closer, voice soft but merciless. "You took money from Mother while she was dying. You drained the company while pretending to grieve. You replaced me with her," she gestures to Bella. "Because she made you feel young." Bella bursts into tears. Sloane stares at the floor. Liv continues. "As of now, you're terminated. Permanently." Nate stands, enraged. "I won't leave." Cole opens the boardroom door. 2 federal agents step inside. "Nathaniel Harrington," one says, "you are under investigation for corporate fraud, embezzlement, and tax evasion." Nate sputters, "Liv, please, please, don't do this. I'm your father." Liv leans in, voice barely above a whisper. "You stopped being my father the moment you tried to delete me." He breaks. He actually breaks, knees buckling as the agents pull him to his feet. Sloane backs away. Bella covers her face. Executives stay silent. No one stands up for him. Liv watches as Nate is escorted out of the boardroom, past the wall of glass overlooking Manhattan, the city he once believed he owned. She doesn't smile. But her eyes burn with the cold, perfect fire of justice long overdue. Aftermath, Harrington Tower private lobby. Security closes the boardroom doors. Cole exhales, wiping his brow. "That," he says, "was a massacre. Liv steps toward the elevator, posture tall and serene. It was mercy, she replies. A massacre would have been kinder. Cole laughs softly. You sound like Victoria. Liv presses the elevator button. I should, she says. I'm her daughter. As the elevator ascends to the executive penthouse, and now hers, Olive closes her eyes. New York glows beneath her. The empire is shifting. The old king has fallen. But this is only the beginning. Because queens don't inherit power. They seize it. Part 4. Manhattan, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Met Gala night. New York's night sky glitters like black velvet studded with diamonds. The steps of the Met overflow with the world's most influential designers, billionaires, politicians, icons. Flashbulbs fire like lightning. Tonight's theme, legacy. A fitting battlefield. A hush sweeps the red carpet as the doors of a black Rolls-Royce open. Olivia Harrington steps out. But not as the invisible daughter. Not as the erased heir. Tonight, she wears Victoria's legendary gown, the one her mother wore to the 2008 Met Gala, preserved for 17 years. Midnight silver silk embroidered with crystals that shimmer like stars stitched into fabric. Around her neck, the $42 million diamond set Victoria left exclusively for Liv. Not borrowed. Not styled. Inherited. Rightfully hers. The crowd erupts, gasps, shudders, screams. Reporters murmur. She looks exactly like Victoria. The Iron Queen reborn. Is she signaling her takeover? Liv glides up the steps like she owns them, because she does. Her heels strike marble with the elegance of inevitability. Inside the museum, the room shifts. Heads turn like a tide following her. Then, from the opposite entrance, Bella Voss and Sloane Ryder arrive. Bella wears a pale silver gown with the same cut, same silhouette, same embroidery pattern as Victoria's original. It's not homage. It's imitation. Cheap, obvious, almost desperate. The crowd notices instantly. Whispers sharpen. Is she copying Victoria Harrington? God, the audacity. She wishes she was Olivia. Liv approaches them with the serenity of someone carrying a gleaming sword behind her teeth. Bella smirks. Oh, Olivia. We didn't know you'd wear that tonight. Must be awkward, showing up to match me. Liv tilts her head, voice soft and deadly. No, Bella. I'm wearing the original. She raises her champagne glass, and, accidentally, tips it forward. Slow motion. Crimson wine spills through the air like velvet blood. And lands directly across Bella's knockoff gown. A perfect stain. A perfect scandal. Phones erupt. Liv's expression stays angelic. Oh dear, she murmurs. Legacy stains easily. Within seconds, Bella becomes a global meme. A viral caption dominates social media before midnight. Copying a legend, when you're just a footnote. The internet crowns Liv. Bella implodes. Sloane cedes. And Nate, watching from afar, disgraced, is powerless to stop the empire shifting in Liv's favor. Midtown Manhattan, Harrington penthouse, now Liv's. Rain lashes against the glass walls of the penthouse Nate once called the throne. Now, it's Liv's war room. She stands before the floor-to-ceiling windows, Manhattan glowing below her like a conquered kingdom. Cole Whitaker enters, holding documents. Nate's been released on bond, he says. He wants a meeting. Liv smiles without warmth. Let him in. Moments later, Nate steps inside, soaked, trembling, older than his 54 years. He looks at the home he lost with a broken animal's eyes. Olivia, please. His voice cracks. I'm begging you. Give me a chance to rebuild. Just, give me something. $100 million. That's enough to disappear. Liv sits on the velvet sofa, queen-like, appraising him. 100 million, she repeats. You stole almost twice that. Nate falls to his knees. Please, Liv. I have nothing left. Liv gestures to Cole. He places a folder in front of Nate. Here's what you get, Liv says calmly. He opens the folder. The terms are brutal. $500,000 allowance, not a cent more. Permanent forfeiture of all parental rights over Bella. A public apology in Forbes admitting to fraud, abuse of power, and erasing Liv. No contact with Liv forever. Nate's face collapses. Please. Olivia. I'm your father. Liv's voice is a whisper. No. You're the man who tried to erase me. He sobs, truly sobs, as he signs the documents with shaking hands. When the pen lifts, Liv stands. Security will escort you out. Liv. He holds out his hand like a drowning man. She steps back. You don't get to say my name again. Nate is dragged out into the storm, the door closing behind him like a tomb. Through the rain-blurred glass, Liv watches him stumble into the street, broken, forgotten, erased. Exactly as he once erased her. 1 year later, Manhattan skyline. New York looks different now. Or maybe it just shines differently under Liv's reign. A black helicopter lands atop Harrington Tower. Liv steps out in a tailored crimson coat and diamond earrings that once belonged to Victoria. Her hair flows in the cold wind. She enters the tower, now renamed the New Empire. The lobby is unrecognizable. Where the old logo once hung. Harrington Capital Partners. A new emblem shines in gold. Harrington and daughter. The employees stand straighter when she passes. Not out of fear. Out of respect. Liv takes the elevator to the top floor. Her office overlooks every skyscraper her mother once fought to build. A portrait of Victoria hangs behind her desk, regal, fierce, eternal. Cole enters with reports. The Women's Business Scholarship Fund is fully operational. 100 million annually. We've already accepted applicants from 20 states. Liv nods. Good. And the Domestic Financial Abuse Center opens next month. Perfect. That one is personal. Cole hesitates. And about Nate. Liv doesn't turn. Is he still alive? She asks flatly. Technically, yes. But barely. After your settlement, he lived in a small rental in Queens. He's been selling possessions to stay afloat. Liv finally looks up. And Bella? She moved to Milan, Cole says. Signed with a fashion house. She doesn't speak about Nate anymore. Liv nods slowly, one part pity, one part closure. She deserves her own life, Liv says softly. Freed from him. Cole studies her. You won. Liv steps onto the balcony overlooking Manhattan. I didn't win, she replies. I rebuilt. She closes her eyes. Wind sweeps through her hair. Mother would have been proud, Cole says. Liv smiles faintly. No. She would have expected this. Upper East Side, Evelyn Whitmore's mansion. Liv visits the $150 million estate Evelyn left her. A palace of marble, glass, mahogany, technology decades ahead of its time. She walks through the silent halls, trailing her fingers along the walls Evelyn once built in secrecy. She opens the sealed envelope Evelyn instructed her to read only after the fall of Nathaniel. The letter is short. My Olivia. You have done what your mother and I could not do in our time. You broke the dynasty to rebuild it in your own image. Women like us are not meant to inherit thrones. We are meant to forge them. Evelyn. Liv presses the letter to her chest for a moment before returning it to the safe. Final scene, Harrington Tower rooftop. Night. The city glows beneath her like a living constellation. Liv stands alone on the rooftop, wind tugging at her coat. She looks down at Manhattan, the city that witnessed her erasure, her humiliation, her resurrection.